So I'm going to do 5 reps of this. Feet off the floor. Hit it to one side. Come center. Floor press it up. Back down. Bear hug. Hit to the floor. Thing that I've been doing with sandbags is long sets of box squats. I picked this idea up from the YouTube channel called the Stone Circle. He does a lot of sandbag training and stone lift. Hello all, it's been a while since my last video. Uh, this is kind of why I went with a 4 uploads a month schedule rather than one weekly, because I know that I'm probably not going to want to do it some weeks. But all of that's besides the point. As of my last video, you guys probably know that I've been working with the sandbags a lot, and it has been uh, kind of a goal of mine to get really good at sandbags, and I've essentially been training with the sandbags every day. It's quite exhausting and takes a lot out of me, but I find my body adapting in ways that it never has before. I feel a lot more powerful in my fingers, a lot more strong in my, or a lot stronger in my core, and things of that nature. I also find my fashion sense changing with the tools that I use. So now I'm adopting more of a lumberjack fashion, I would say. Kind of silly, but I do think there's something to adopting characteristics outside of just uh, the training in order to get good at something. So I don't know. Like let's say you wanted to get really good at pool, and a lot of pool players do something outside of just practicing pool. That is a common characteristic among all of them. I don't know, maybe the kind of clothes they wear or something like that. And I think there might be something to adopting certain of those personality traits along with just the overall skill that might help accelerate your learning of that skill. I don't know if that's how the world really works. I just think there's something there to that. I don't know if adopting a fashion sense has anything to do with it, but in any case, let's get on with the workout. So today I want to essentially show you guys some of the stuff that I've been doing with the sandbag. I've been doing a lot of different kinds of movements. I also have a 200-pound bag with me. I don't think I've shown that in a video yet. Between my last video and this video, there was a day where I brought this 200-pound sandbag to the gym. But yeah, so I'm going to show you guys what I've been doing with these sandbags essentially to get stronger. And yeah, let's get on with it. So, as usual, using the sled to start. And I say as usual because whether or not I use the sled, I'm doing backwards treadmill usually as like my first movement. Ever since getting into the knees over toes guy stuff, I've kind of almost done backward walking or backward sled drags. Pretty much every workout uh, as my first warm up movement. But in this case, it'll also be the first working movement. Then I'm going to do alternate single arm sled rows to get the weight back. Getting the arms and back activated. Also, some leg drive to explode with the sled. I also think today's date is Sunday, November 21st, or if it's 21st or 22nd. I'm pretty sure it's the 21st. Whatever. So then for the second movement, using the 150-pound bag, I'm going to do a sandbag bear hug carry back and forth. So with this movement, I find the core getting a lot more activated than a farmer's carry. Also the upper back, especially like the scapula and traps, have to stay like very strong and retracted so that the sandbag stays back. So just overall, a really great movement, a really great carry. Um, I also find that it hits the glutes and hamstrings really well, which was almost kind of surprising as to how well it did that. Then with two 25-pound kettlebells, I'm going to do alternate shoulder press for 10 each side. 25 pounds isn't that heavy of a weight. This is more so to add an additional movement to keep my heart rate higher for slightly longer, but also have a pressing movement. So, one of the things I've noticed with sandbag training is there aren't a whole lot of presses when it comes to sandbags. Uh, so with kettlebells, no matter like what movement you do, there's always some sort of like shoulder involvement, I think. And when I went from, or I still do kettlebell stuff, but now that a large portion of my training is sandbagged, I noticed that myself not doing as much uh, vertical pressing or even like cleaning work, and so just kind of, I've been kind of conscious of adding small kettlebell movements that keep those muscles active while I divert a lot of my focus to sandbag training. So anyway, these are some pretty basic movements that I'm using to start off. Then once I get once this kind of gets my CNS in a good place, then I'm going to move into the 200-pound bag, try to do something a little bit more taxing, a little bit more difficult, a bit more intense. But yeah, on to the next thing. So this is the 200-pound sandbag. I have been able to get it to my shoulder, though I haven't been able to do so consistently. I still think I have to get used to some of the movement patterns and get all the muscles involved in that movement pattern to be strong consistently and have the endurance to perform the movement consistently over a long period of time in order to be able to for sure get the 200-pound sandbag to my shoulder each time I try to do so. In any case, in uh, the quest to be able to do that, I've been doing certain movements that kind of work on the muscle groups involved. So when you get a sandbag to the shoulder, you have to thrust at the hips, kind of roll the sandbag up, and then slowly adjust it to get onto your shoulder. With the 200-pound sand, no, uh, so one of the muscle or techniques or movements involved in that movement is a thrust from the hip and rolling it up. So with a 200-pound sandbag, I'm going to just work exclusively on that part. I think they call it like Atlas stone rolls or something like that because it mimics rolling an Atlas stone when it comes in context of strongman events. In any case, I'll just do the movement. So instead of carrying it up, I find that I like to roll it onto my knee And then from here, I'll kind of readjust, and then so I'm gonna do 5 reps of this. So it's a huge thrust at the hip, so the glutes are definitely activated. Then I find like the erector spinae, the muscles running on either side of the spine, like I feel like those get activated really well too. Just all in all, this feels like a lot of the underused muscles in the back, uh, or under targeted muscles in the back, have to get activated big time. Then with my 150-pound sandbag, so there's this YouTube channel called Rugged Fitness Lifestyle. It's this firefighter guy who works out with sandbags and kettlebells. Really cool stuff. I like that kind of hardcore mentality. In any case, he did this movement where he essentially does oblique twists with the 150 with the sandbag, and so I'm going to use the 150-pound to do something like that, but with a press in between. So it looks like this. So I keep my glutes up. I essentially bear hug the sandbag, twist to one side, bring it to center, press up, bear hug, back to center. I can only do 2 of those on each side, but in any case, pretty taxing set of movements. Just gonna do this for a while. Uh, yeah, and probably 5 to 6 sets of that, and then on to the next. Here's another angle of the previous movement, since I thought the other angle didn't look so great. So essentially, having it on the floor, I'm going to get my hands around it, and then, all right, I might have to switch where the mic is. Okay, so now I bear hug it, lift my glutes off the floor, hit it to one side, come center, floor press it up, back down, bear hug, hit to the floor, press. So yeah, quite a lot of muscles at work. really taxing set of movements. Yeah, doing 4 to 5 sets of that.
So another thing that I've been doing with sandbags is long sets of box squats. I picked this idea up from the YouTube channel called the Stone Circle. He does a lot of sandbag training and stone lifting, and he essentially does these really long sets of box squats for 50 to 100 reps. He's gone up to 1,000 even. And I'm someone who values strength endurance quite a bit. And naturally, I had to test myself as to whether or not I could do it. This was a set of 100 reps. Um, so while doing the squats, I take a moment after ever, like, there's no set number that I'm going for, so I am going for 100. That is a set number. But I'm kind of doing like maybe two squats, then resting for a bit. Maybe doing 100 squat or maybe five squats and resting for a bit. But the number of squats that I do before I rest is kind of purely by feel. In any case, I just slowly grinded the set out and got to 100 reps. It was actually not as hard as I thought it would be. Um, Pretty much the only rule is you don't rest the sandbag on any surface except your lap, and you grind out 100 reps. So here I just thought I'd end off with some uh 200-pound sandbag to shoulder. Didn't get very many reps of this. Pretty much got two on each side. I was just doing one rep and then taking a long rest. In any case, that's it for the video. Um, See you all in the next one. More sandbag stuff, most likely.